Happy Meaningful Monday, goddesses and Adonai of Athenas. I'm Cecilia Villero, goddess number 1276, team leader of the Sirens and Satyrs and connection coordinator at the home office, and your favorite mermaid goddess. This Meaningful Monday is for those of you who want to learn more about Instagram and how to utilize it for your business. Now, you might be thinking, I don't really need this webinar because I don't want to use anything other than Facebook. And if you're one of those people, then fine, I guess. But let me tell you why using Instagram for your business can enhance your business. First off, Instagram is owned by Facebook. So really, you're just using another Facebook app. If you use Messenger, it's technically a separate app. If you have a Facebook business page, that's a separate app as well. Facebook is mainly text-driven. Yes, you can share images and GIFs and links and such, but more and more people are becoming more visual. Just like how you should craft your Facebook business page to have a certain look, and people still look for Facebook pages of different businesses to learn more about them, your Instagram is your digital business card. The 3x3 grid is a quick insight of who you are, your values, your interests, and what you do. It's a quick way for someone to follow you without feeling like they're committing to something they might not be prepared for. That being said, I've had people get on their phones right in front of me, follow my Instagram, and proceed to scroll as far back as they wanted. They clicked on images I posted several years ago that caught their attention. Unlike Facebook, you can have multiple accounts. So yes, it's more to manage, but your business account should focus on the type of look and lifestyle you want to promote. And your personal account can be for all the kitty and puppy pictures you want to share. Though, don't get me wrong, followers on your business account will also want to see your kitties and puppies. The majority of accounts, approximately 80%, are personal. The average user has about 650 followers and is following 360 accounts. Instagram has over 700 million active users between those who post and watch Instagram stories. There are approximately 100 million photos shared to Instagram every day and approximately 4 billion likes, double taps, or hearts every day. The fact of the matter is, our very specific business requires a bit of exposure, more so than any other direct sales business. Ours is beyond intimate. People need to see products in real time with real life uses. And as much as they love our products, it's you, your personality, your style, your brand that helps to reel them in and make them devoted lifelong customers. We have customers share things with us they're hesitant to reach out to their doctors about, but that takes trust, and this little insight they get to have into your life through Instagram is a great way to build that trust. Now, I'm about to go into Instagram's features, but first, let me give you your first code word. Your first code word for this webinar is social. S-O-C-I-A-L. Your first code word is social. S-O-C-I-A-L. All right, here we go. Hi, everyone. So you're all going to get to see what's on my phone. My background is beautiful Kauai when we went to Hawaii in October. So let's see. Here is Instagram. This is my Goddess Cecilia Instagram. Right? And as you see, it starts off with a lot of pictures, people that I know, things like this, right? At the very top, you'll see all of these stories, right? This is at the top of your Instagram, right? Your stories are major, and we're going to go into that in a little bit as well. Okay? Now, you could be a completely passive user and just, like a bunch of images And oh, that's super cute. And that's it, you know? And just like Facebook, it's one thing to just go ahead and like everything, and it's certainly a whole nother thing to go ahead and comment on people's posts, right? Commenting on people's posts gives their post a boost, and it also shows the algorithm what kinds of things you're interested in seeing, and will also promote those kinds of images to you as well. Okay, so like I said earlier, your 3x3 grid, the top 3 rows and the top 3 columns is basically your business card, right? Your digital business card. And you can choose to create a very crafted look, and you can also be super random about it. There's really not really one way to go about doing it. Different businesses will, different businesses will want to craft a certain look. You know, here's some like makeup. Here's like one of the makeup companies, right? And they don't really have a grid per se, but you know what they're selling, you know. There's also other folks that craft their grid to look a certain way as well. Right? What's her name? Rafaela. There are folks who have like specific coloring. They use a lot of pinks or colors. And let's show you another example. This one I was like, I like what she's doing. She's got like a whole color-coded situation going on, you know? And it's very on purpose and very deliberate. Now, like I said earlier, commenting on different people's posts helps promote their posts. It helps the algorithm know what you're interested in seeing, and it shows that you are being deliberate and active, right? And earlier I just did a couple of like emojis, but at the end of the day, emojis don't always count. They don't always count in the post or in comments, right? So you want to be engaging. Now, I love emojis, don't get me wrong. You know, but commenting helps people see too, like what kind of things you're interested in, and it'll kind of give an insight too on like what kind of things your audience is interested in, you know? And then engaging with the comments too. Oh, you can double tap. That's great. And there's new features happening all the time. Like every single day I get updates for Instagram, and it is good to keep your Instagram app updated for sure. Okay, let's talk about the stories. So the stories feature, like I said, is at the very top, right? And oftentimes, sometimes even down the way, Facebook, Instagram will try to promote the stories and say, oh, look at these new stories that you might have missed, you know? And your stories can be the posts that you just posted. It can also be, you know, other things that you were interested in. So for example, I just like this post and I want to share it with other people that I know might also like this post. So this little arrow right here, you can click on it and then you can share it with specific people, or you can add it to your story. You can make it bigger, you can make it sideways, you know, kind of depending on your personal style, and then share it to your story. And what happens, even if it's not your thing, you're sharing someone else's post, someone that you might like or support, but your story keeps getting bumped up to the front of the line. And that keeps you on people's minds throughout the day. All right, let's talk about the story feature. There are several ways that you can get to the story feature to post a story, right? From the home screen, you can swipe to the left and it opens up this story feature, right? So you can just take a picture if you'd like. You can go live, which is very similar to Facebook Live. And we'll talk about the importance of Instagram Live as well. You can type a message and you can change the color of this, you know. You can change the kind of font or typeface. You can do a boomerang, which basically creates like a mini GIF situation. Super zoom, which gets like very dramatic and has kind of funny sound effects that go along with it. Focus is one that's mainly for the face, so it makes you be really in focus while the other parts are a little more blurry. Rewind plays video in reverse. Hands-free is great for longer videos, for the kind of videos where you want to talk about something longer than like 20 seconds, basically, right? Now, one of the cool features about Instagram is that there are interactive stickers that you can use. And they're great for engagement, right? So let's take a little picture here. All right, so now you get to stare at my cute little face. Up here, you can also add like really interesting features, lenses, filters, whatever you want to call it, right? And then this little square thing here that looks like a sticker. You have like, you know, cool little stickers you can add, but at the top you have interactive stickers. So I've used my Facebook page as a location, mention. You can, this is mainly for like when you want to mention other people, but for now, I'm just showing you what they all look like, right? Hashtag is great. Oop. Right? The time, a poll is awesome. And you can change these too. So you can ask a two-part question like, when do you want to host a party, and you can say ASAP, or maybe later this summer, right? Oop. You can do more GIFs, which are sort of wacky, but for a still photo, it really adds to, oh, look at this cute little cat. It adds a couple of seconds to the photo. We're just putting a bunch of stickers on this. There's the questions, which is great because this is where, and I've used this feature a couple of times now. They can ask you a question, or you can ask them a question where they get to answer a little more long form. There is certainly a limit to how much type you can put in to the form, but it's great. And you can also change the color on this as well. Ooh. And then you can see people's responses to this in your stories as well. And no one else sees them. Like whenever people ask questions, they're anonymous. So no one else sees them. Only you see who posted the questions. You can do countdowns. I don't have a particular countdown, so I want to go back. This slide scale thing, you can choose different emojis for it. Not all the emojis, just these specific ones that they offer. And then people basically get to rate something on this little scale. And it'll also show you as well, what people end up choosing. This one is one of the newest things. It is definitely a quiz, but so like if someone chooses something, it'll either tell them whether or not they're right or wrong, but you can create this option as a sort of longer poll for more options, right? To see at your next party, right? More toys, more spa products, more butt stuff, and let's see, more games, right? And then you get to choose like what is the correct answer. But again, it doesn't have to necessarily be like a quiz per se, because then at the end of this, you get to see who clicked on what, and then you get to respond to all of those options and all of those people that clicked onto specific letters or specific options, right? Let's see. This one's great too, this little photo thing here, but it only does a photo of you. So it's only the like front facing camera. So if you want it to be like super weird and interesting, it's gonna take it. Where's the button? And then you just get to put it on random things like that. Okay, so now we've taken a look at all the different features that the stories have to offer. Now, if you click onto your stories and you kind of pull up, you can see right? Interactions. You get to see who looked at what. If you use hashtags, it'll tell you who looked at the hashtag, right? And with any sort of interactive feature, it'll tell you up here as well. So, okay, so I want to show you what an interactive post would look like for you, sort of in your back end of the stories. Okay, so I just created this post using one that I have already done. I'm sharing it to my stories. And now when I go to my profile, it's here in the most recent of my stories, right? So if I pull up, when people view it, you'll see the views, and you'll also see when people have responded, and then you'll be able to respond to those specific people who responded. Obviously, the follow-up is super important in that piece. It's not just something that you necessarily want to leave hanging, even if it's something as simple as like, thanks for participating, that was super helpful feedback. And that's it, right? One of the important things about social media in general is that a lot of this is a long game, right? Like, we tell people all the time, like, we're not some get rich quick situation. As I said earlier, this is meant to be a way for them to get an insight into who you are, what you do, your likes and dislikes, your values, and then they get to interact with you in different ways on your Instagram stories. Let's talk about the difference between a business page and a personal page, right? So a business page, you get these options that, I mean, you have the promotions option, but really, truly, at the end of the day, Instagram is not going to let you promote products that are of an adult nature. If your profile was strictly the spa stuff, maybe, but don't forget that your Instagram is linked to your Facebook. So if you don't have the ability to promote or boost posts in Facebook, you probably won't have that ability in Instagram as well, right? But the insights are great. Okay, so let's see this one. This one had a lot of likes, so I'm going to view insights. And from here, you can see how many people were following you, from where, from hashtags, from your profile, from other website clicks, profile visits. Someone may have shared it. Someone saved it. That's what the little flag is at the end here. How many people commented. All that good stuff, right? That's super necessary for your business. You really get to see what posts engage people and what doesn't, right? What are interactions, discovery, impressions, reach, all this stuff, right? Now, as this is meant to be a relatively quick webinar, I really encourage you to play around with your Instagram, right? You can always delete photos. You can always change things up, and you have a little bit of the flexibility there. It's important for you to get to know what features you like, what features you don't like. Really just play around with it. Let's talk a little bit about Instagram Live. All right, so Instagram Live, again, like I said earlier, is very similar to Facebook Live, but if you see at the top here, there's these little question boxes. If you posted a question from a story, you can answer them in a live video, right? That's awesome. There's a lot of this like crossover situation that's going on with a lot of the features in Instagram. And if you have a video answer that is, I believe, as long as 30 seconds and no longer than 10 minutes, you get to then save that video and post it into your Instagram TV, right? Instagram TV is technically another app, but it's also built into Instagram. All right. So it's this little TV icon up the top here, right? You get to see a lot of different videos, some of the popular ones, and then in the top right, you have videos that you've posted. All right. It's definitely helpful to have the kind of apps that help to shorten videos. A lot of phones come with editing apps, so I'm not necessarily going to go into that because your phone probably has an app already that edits videos, okay? Or that like crops them or something, right? And sometimes you just have to crop out like the beginning and the end. This then keeps your videos on here for much longer. This bottom one here was from September 2018, September last year. People can look back at your videos. You can also certainly use the videos option, the live videos option, again, similar to Facebook, to talk about products, right? You do want to be careful, of course, because there aren't necessarily age restrictions. And if you're using hashtags, really anyone can find them. You can set some restrictions on your profile. Be cautious of what you're posting, obviously, and how you would like to be seen by your viewing audience, if you will. All right, let's talk about some other features that are part of the feed. Okay, your feed, your profile, right? You can post multiple pictures. You can post up to 10 pictures in one tile, right? And you can combine several things. So you can have pictures, you can have video, you can add a boomerang, which is technically saved as a video as well. And this is sort of what's known as the catalog feature. So it lets people see multiple pictures in one tile. This is what a boomerang looks like. I wish I had a squeaky sound effect to go with that. But I had a lot of people really interested in the jade roller after I posted this video. So that was great. Another feature that is really important as far as accessibility is, well, you can do it several different ways, right? You want to make sure that you have captions. Here in this image, I have a description of the image within the type, right? You can also, if you click on the little three buttons in the top right, click to edit. Instagram now has, it's hard to see because of my little Goddess Cecilia thing, but on the right hand corner there, it says edit alt text. So as you can see, it says alt text describes your photos for people with visual impairments. There's equipment out there in which people who have visual impairments are still able to use something that is as visual and photo heavy as Instagram and still have access to it and have access to the images that you're providing. I think it's such a great feature. I will make sure that there's like a little link to an article that's really great. I'll try to add that into the webinar description here, right? All right, let's talk about hashtags. Hashtags. To create a hashtag, all you literally have to do is put a hashtag and then the words. Another accessibility thing, hashtags, ways to link to other people, to specific interests that you might want to connect with, right? Certainly, you can use words that describe the image. That's totally fine. But you also might want to connect with people. And also the words all have to be connected. It has to be like one word all together or several words all together. Because if you create a space, the hashtag will only include what is before the space, right? But as you can see, after every word, I capitalize the first letter of the next word. It makes it a lot easier to read. And again, for those who have visual impairments, their tech that helps to read the text will know when a new word is starting so that you're not getting like a jumbled word. You also want to be careful of which hashtags you're using, right? There are definitely hashtags that are flagged by Instagram. For sure, Goddess Life is one of them, but I use it anyway. Goddess Cecilia, it links back to all of my posts, my top posts, my most recent posts, and anything else other people might have tagged me in. You also want to make sure that, certain tags have a lot of different posts, right? So there's the high level post, there's the medium level post, and there's a low level kind of hashtags. You kind of want to mix it up so that there's a variety of levels of hashtags, mainly because if you like Boston IG, that's great. It's a very popular hashtag. It's going to get lost really quick though, because I imagine there's that many different posts that exist. You want people to be able to find you through that hashtag. So let's see. Let's click on April 23rd. Is my birthday, right? Pleasure educator. I don't know how many people. Oh, it's just me. I am one of the only people who use it. Oh, and this other random folks down here. So this is like a low level hashtag, right? You might be the only person who uses it, and that's fine for branding purposes. For example, like I use Goddess Cecilia on every hashtag. You do want to vary it, and you don't necessarily want to use the same exact hashtags over and over and over. You want to vary them based on the image, based on the topic that you're discussing in your post. You can even change it up based on a schedule, depending on what you're posting. I'm going to give you your next code word. Finding my color here, and that code word is media. Your code word is media, MEDIA. Your second code word is media. All right. So when it comes to frequency and best times to post, it mainly depends on you. In general, posting 3 to 5 times a week is great. Again, you can schedule these out based on your schedule. The best times to post is on weekdays at 5 a.m. or 3 p.m., though anywhere within those times works fine. The best day for engagement is Thursday, and the worst day for engagement is Sunday. But again, your audience will have variations. This is why knowing and understanding the insights can help you with your posts. Something you might have heard before are of pods. Pods are usually a group of people who get together to help each other build an audience and sustain their algorithms. There's a mutual agreement between a group to engage on everyone's posts in the first 10 minutes. You have to double tap or heart and comment at least 3+ words on their post. It helps to create a group message, that can hold up to 15 people, where you can let each other know that you just posted something. Put the link of your post in that message, and the pod helps to do the work. In the description to this YouTube video, you'll see a couple of links I added for those of you who want to read up some more tips and tricks on Instagram. So feel free to check them out or to help create an Instagram feed you can be proud of. Lastly, be purposeful about who you're following. Follow brands you like. Follow people you like. Watch their feeds. Watch their stories. What do they do that you like? Now, I'm not saying copy exactly what they're doing word for word. Again, that's plagiarism. But be inspired by it and make it your own. Remember, as much as your clients love our products, they also really do love you and what you have to offer them. All right, so that concludes this week's Meaningful Monday. But before you go, let me tell you how you can win an amazing Spectacular participation prize. You have a chance to win an argan oil, a Heavenly Goddess shampoo and conditioner, Serenity Supreme, Serenity Bath Bomb, and Serenity Shea Butter. This is a $123.50 value prize. In the email linked to this webinar, click on the link to the submission form, fill out all the necessary information with the code words, and submit it by 11:59 p.m. on Monday, April 29th to be counted. Your final code word is Superstar. 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 Your final code word is Superstar. Thank you all for joining me on this Meaningful Monday, Goddesses and Adonai. Goddess bless. All right, we're going to move on to other things that are helpful for use with Instagram. But before I go, so there are a variety of different apps that exist out there that are meant specifically for for helping you work smarter and not harder, right? I know there's still this hesitation of like having a lot of different social media outlets to have to work on, but a lot of the times, a lot of the images that you might create for Instagram are totally fine to share on your Facebook page, your business page specifically, on Twitter, and yeah, there are different apps that you can use to help with that. All right, so let's talk about a couple of these apps. So these are the apps that I mainly use to work on my images, right? And the media that I create. Now, let's get things straight. We have tons of images that you can utilize in your back office. The marketing department and Jen work really hard to try to make sure that we have images, a variety of images that you can share. And I would not recommend sharing all of the images at once, or even all of the images within a day. You really want to schedule out your posts, right? And that's important for the algorithm, and that's important for your sanity too, totally. Because being a social media coordinator is literally its own job. That is its own job. And that is just one part of your job as the boss of this business, right? So, okay, these apps. Word Swag. Now, I paid for this app. I paid for it mainly because I really like that I can use these images that they have. I can also search for other random images to use as backgrounds. Cute, very cute, right? You can also use images from your own camera roll. But let's just say for now, we're going to use, just so you can kind of see what this might look like. Why am I being so picky? Okay. Right. So you can make sure that it is cropped to a specific length and size. The square is generally perfect for Instagram, right? Like that is what you mainly see in a grid. You can also fit 16 by 19, or 16 by 19, excuse me, 9 by 16, 16 by 9, right? There's even an Instagram stories option. And then there's sort of a mid-range one. It's not actually 3 by 4. It's like 4 by 5. So you don't want to use these sizes necessarily for Instagram because it might not fit very well. And Instagram might not let you post that size either. Okay. So let's say we're going to crop. And then it gives you all of these options for fonts. Right? And once you find a font that you like, honestly, use the same font. Use the same typeface all the time. That's actually how I found my favorite one, which I ended up actually purchasing so that I could use on my computer, in Canva, all that stuff. You know? You can choose a color. You can even choose like a more specific color if you wanted. It'll be a good idea for you to know what kind of branding you want to have for yourself, while obviously trying to stay relatively similar to Athena's, right? You can even make this a little more transparent. You can change the filter of the image. And I'll talk a little bit more about that with other apps as well, right? So I like WordSwag for this particular reason. Okay, Canva. If you're a fan of Canva, totally keep using Canva, right? Canva now has Instagram story templates, which are super cute, easily modifiable. And again, it'll help you to stick with a specific type of branding, theme, color scheme that speaks to you, right? It's just so easy to like create something really quick. We've had some wonderful examples from different goddesses in Adonai who have used Canva. And it's just like it's really easy to use. I'm very excited that we finally have the app option, to be perfectly honest. All right, so Canva. Snapseed is one that I've used. They're different. There's so many different types of let's use this picture. Different types of apps that edit photos, right? But this one, you can create a lens blur. Yay! Right? You can change the blur strength. You can tune the image. So if you want it to be less warm, more warm, like if you're under yellow lighting, you might want to tone the warmth down a little bit. You know, if you're under more like white or fluorescent lighting, you probably need to turn up the warmth a little bit. Just depends, right? This one also has different filters and things like that as well. Okay, so that's Snapseed. VSCO is another app that I decided to pay for. And this helps to keep my images looking a very specific way, right? So let me actually click on something so that I can show you. I have preset specific exposures, types of filters, right? And one way that you can kind of pick and choose what filter you like, or what filter actually might even look good on you, is honestly going through Pinterest and searching for VSCO filters. And you'll see a variety of different images, and that is what helps to give people a really crafted look in their Instagram feeds, right? Because a lot of time the coloring is the same, the shading, what highlights get picked up, that sort of thing. Okay. Now, of course, actually, let's go back here. If you were to just pick a random picture, right, and you wanted to share it, you can also just choose one of the filters that's part of Instagram already, right? You certainly don't have to buy another app for that. I'm just kind of showing you what I use. So if you wanted to use this specific filter for this one picture, test it on other pictures. See if it's one that works with your kind of style. And then just use that filter exclusively. You can also use the edit function and edit, how bright, how dark it is, and try to remember what presets you left it on. So if you like this kind of brightness, you like number 11, you might like a vignette, which basically darkens the edges a little bit. Remember all of those presets, and then you just do the same thing for every picture. Okay? PhotoGrid. PhotoGrid is what I would use if I wanted to put together several different images in one. And you can also add stickers to it. You can put several things together. If you have a tall picture that you want to use, but you kind of want to keep it in a square, you can also just choose one picture and then kind of edit accordingly, right? As you can see, there's stickers, there are effects here as well. There's so many different apps, and you can even do text. So I know Photo Collage is another app that does something similar that a lot of folks use. Yeah, I mean, do some exploring. There's so many apps out there that work for your particular style. And if you like one, stick with it. Okay. All right. IGTV, we've talked about that already a little bit. Repost is another great feature. With Instagram, they actually really like it when you repost other people's posts. I know that might sound kind of interesting and a little strange, but they do. They like you sharing other people's posts. And this is a great way for other people to share your posts as well. And really the great part is that this app in particular makes sure that there is always credit being given to the original poster. There's way too much plagiarism that can happen with images. Eventually you find an image. I mean, it's not Pinterest. On Pinterest, you can't really often find where the image originated from. And with Repost app, it keeps the original poster on the image, right? So that people can see, okay, you reposted it, and it also copies whatever they typed, so that let me show you an example. So this one was a post that I reposted, right? You'll see underneath my profile pic, there's a little repost thing, the repost logo, and then at the bottom is where you see the original credit, their original post as well. And yeah, it's just good to give credit to the folks who did the work, you know. Okay. Zoetropic, I'm not really going to show you that. It's kind of a really random app, but it basically makes images look like they're moving. If you want to like ask me about it after the webinar, we can totally chat. Unfold is another one that I downloaded and I'm finding I'm actually using less, but it helps to create Instagram stories. And since Canva now has that option to create Instagram stories, I've mainly been using Canva. Okay. Now, scheduling. Okay. For scheduling apps, I use Hootsuite. Okay. Hootsuite is one that where I mainly post to my Facebook and Twitter feeds. Okay. It's great. So far it's working fine. And this is to my Facebook business page. Planoly, I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but with this app in particular, you can move things around. Let's just add a couple of random images here. We're going to add that. We're going to add... We're going to add one more photo. Maybe one that has like white background. Right? So with something like this, you see how I generally have a feed that has like a colorful image and then a white background, a colorful image and then a white background. With this, you can upload several photos and then move them around accordingly, depending on what you're trying to do. So that means that you can schedule things further in advance, which would just make your life so much easier, right? And then, you can type up your message. You can save hashtags that you use all the time. There is this location option, which I think is also nice, but sometimes it doesn't work. It's a little glitchy still. So, and then it automatically posts to Instagram. So you could be out and about in the world, and that's usually what I do, is I try to schedule it when I'm out and about in the world, and it looks like I just posted something, So now I'm getting to continue doing what I'm doing during the day without letting my social media stop me. Planoly also has a website version, so you could also do the scheduling and upload images through on your computer as well. Right? There's also Grambler, Grambler, and that is another one where you have an app on your phone, but you also can use that on your computer, on a browser. Working smarter, not harder. Hi again! So thanks for sticking with me as I talk about the different features of Instagram as well as the different apps that can be super useful to help craft the branding that speaks to you. One thing to note is that not all phones are created equal, unfortunately. Some apps are only downloadable on iPhones, and you might have to find one that's compatible with an Android phone. Like I've said, do some exploring. It seems that many of you use your phones and tablets exclusively for this business, so let them continue to do the work for you. Now, I want to speak really quick about a couple of other tools I've used to help me craft images that look good. Lighting is super important. This Snapseed app I showed you on the phone helps with brightening specific areas of photos, and different filters on a variety of apps will do the same. But if you can start with good lighting, you're on the right path. I grabbed this lighting tool to help with any areas that were too shadowy. So as you can see, it's one that you can attach to a phone, right? And it also comes with this little panel. It comes with another panel that makes it more cool lighting as well as warmer lighting. I'm gonna turn on the light, but not directly into the camera because it is definitely bright. So I don't know if you can see, it kind of changes a little bit of the lighting, but you can also make it brighter. Very bright. Right? So if you're in more shadowy areas, you can modify it accordingly. Also, don't stare directly into it. That was not a good idea. Okay? It's rechargeable, nice and portable, very light, really easy to use. Okay. For sound, generally the mics on our phones are great. But if you were outside somewhere filming or there was a lot of background noise, you might want to pick up what's known as a lav mic or a mic that connects right to your headphone jack. This is the Rode mic, right? And it's adjustable depending on where the headphone jack is on your phone. And it comes with this fuzzy piece to help reduce the sound of wind. This mic is meant to pick up whatever it's directed to, so you want to make sure that you have it at the right angle wherever you are if you're recording a video. Now, this tool is one of my favorites. This is my tripod that has a Bluetooth connected remote control. So this has given me the opportunity to take selfies without anyone else's help. Or if it's going to be a somewhat awkward angle, I can prop it up on something to steady the phone. When it's all collapsed together, it's used as a selfie stick, but it definitely expands quite a bit. 3 different levels, and this piece right here is adjustable.